Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and whoop, that's loud. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Alrighty, what's going on today? Obviously, for I don't know 5 days, 5 trading days, not just 5 days, not like last Saturday, but 5 trading days since like I guess Wednesday of last week. Maybe it's 6 trading days now today. Um, that's all they've talked about is NVDA. What's NVDA going to do on its earnings tonight? Now, there's all kinds of speculation out there. That's going to have a big influence on the market itself. Um, the options are reflecting, I believe it's about a 9% move. I think that's the best so far I've seen so far when it comes to the options. Trying to think what else can we say about that. And that's pretty much the answer to it all, really, and that is that the markets have no direction. The election is got everybody, I want to say, tangled up, or you know, busy or lost in direction. I don't know. In other words, that is really what is going on there at this point. And so you can see the dollar index actually lifting up a little bit. Which dollar index do we have? Okay, there we go. You can see that right there. You see dollar index lifting up a little bit today. Nothing major. We're in that long weekly sell. We've been in that long daily sell, and it's trying. You got a green and a red. Now, I see there's a lot of interesting, I want to say, input going on. We're seeing like some hedge funds selling a lot of stock. You hear about Berkshire Hathaway selling out. They're selling out Bank of America now. They liquidated their major position in Apple Computer. So that has to keep people kind of looking at it and saying what's going on here. You know what I mean? Uh, I would think more than anything else that is really got a lot of eyeballs looking at things, thinking, "What is up here? What is what's making everything move? I mean, really." And that catches my eye too. At the same time, why are they kind of liquidating things? And we have now you have this thing going on with not this thing, but obviously the earnings of the AI chip manufacturer. The markets have gone up dramatically on that particular excitement, I guess you could call it. The markets have been reaching for that. Uh, for a while they've said that the AI is going to be the answer. I kind of think deep down inside, I think a lot of people have a fear that the AI will turn into the .com bubble. So in other words, when you have NVDA up, I don't know, what is it, 300%, and they sold it down to only like 175%, something like that. And now it's climbing back up to, let's see if we can put that NVDA on the screen. And we'll do it through the beta because it's a lot easier. Well, let me do it on this one first, because the reason why we'll do this on here is because it'll give us a pre-market view of it. So if we go, let's see, where's NVDA? I guess it's right there. And let's open that up. And so the markets are staring at that. They're looking at the Middle East. We've got a lot of noise. Just a lot of noise. Okay, so the stock is up just 27 cents, up at $128.60, almost $129 basically. And the all-time high is somewhere around 143. Remember, it did a 10-for-1 split. And so, there's a lot of action in this, and it's got a lot of people staring off into the distance. And don't don't not counting the fact that you got the election. The election is staring us in the face at the same time. So, it's there's a lot of what we would call cross currents, a lot of busyness going on, and it's awful hard to dodge that. In other words, it's like, it is, it's becoming. Let me see if I can do this too. I wanted to do it on the beta. So let's see what the beta looks like. See if the beta is giving us the same type of indication. Let's see. NVDA. Where are you, NVDA? There it is right there. And let's show it to you on the beta at the same time. You see that strength there from yesterday. You see it pushed it into the buy yesterday from that. And we're in a weekly buy for 3 weeks. Same situation as we have on our, on the other platform. So, hello, Robin. So it's there's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of action going on, and there's a concern. There's a lot of concern. If they're, are they moving in the right direction? Well, the fact that some consistent big money is driving the the price of it in different directions like that. In other words, they're now liquidating Berkshire Hathaway, which had liquidated a large position in the Apple. Now is liquidating Bank of America, and you got to wonder. The hedge funds are doing it. The mutual funds are doing it. Like that's what Berkshire Hathaway is like a giant mutual fund. So you have to wonder what fear they see. There's no doubt that there's a strong opinion that the marketplace may just start to retreat a little bit. I mean, that's a possibility. There's a lot of profits in there, and there's a lot of uncertainty. Markets don't like uncertainty, and so that's really putting the pressure on it. And then you can go over to, you see the dollar index. The dollar index is, bouncing a little bit, nothing major there. I did see. Let me put. Trying to find it here. Let's put it up on here for the moment. Put the dollar index, also which I updated on this. Right there. There's the dollar index. And it's got that same gig going on, It's trying to go into a buy here today. The weekly is in that long weekly sell, as I showed you at the very beginning. And then at the same time, I just put up the currencies. Oh, man. Oh. All right. Well, we'll save it. This is going to be fascinating. All right. There's the euro. Let's put the euro up on there. They've been in that daily buy for a bunch of days and a bunch of weeks, and you can see all that. And they're taking a little profit there too. So we got a lot of profit going on now. A lot of money is trying to find basically take some profits. I mean, that's what it really comes down to. And so that will be the next adventure, And then from there, it just marches into the next situation. Look at that euro. We're looking at a euro now getting pushed down a little bit. It's not death-defying, you're in that long weekly buy. You can see here how high up it is. It's pretty high up, and if we contract it and take a look at the last time it was up that high, you can see it was right here, or there, and then they tried pressing it down. We'll see. It needs to get through these manifolds to really be concerned. It needs to see the histogram trying to get towards the zero line. I'd like to see it just, if you're worried about looking for bearishness, just to see if it gets underneath the manifold here on the plus side. So it's not not the world's not coming to an end, but it shows, some money's being pulled out. Cable, which was, just as tenacious, doing the same thing. It's just underneath, but look how high up it is. It's challenging that. Matter of fact, what's interesting is the fast got up there. When's the last time we saw the fast and the slow together that high up? Once they started to roll over, like right here, you can see it put some pressure on the product. I think that was part of that. Was that part of the Civil War thing? Yeah, I guess that's part of this. No, that's not the Civil War. No, the Civil War is this. That's even more dramatic right there. So let's go look at that again. So when you see it, and I'm only going back to the end of the year, but that does catch my eye. The fact that the last time this tried to curve over, we'll watch the fast, see if it breaks the green over here, and see if it becomes more meaningful. It just has that look like a lot of money wants to run away at the moment. That's what it really comes down to, which is kind of, unique in its own right. I would think I really did think that the markets have been looking at this. See. I would think that the markets are looking at this and thinking, oh, maybe we take profits this time. Mr. Trump gets elected, and then maybe we take some profits, and that's what it has, that profit look to it, and that's what it could literally be too. It literally could be just profit taking at this point. There was no doubt that there was definitely no doubt whatsoever that when Mr. Trump got elected, the markets literally doubled. I mean, exploded. And there wasn't all this. Quantitative easing was aggressive. Victor, how you doing this morning? And quantitative easing was aggressive, of course, but nowhere near. You got to figure that quantitative easing has been aggressive the last 4 years for Mr. Biden, and the Dow's gone from 33,000 to basically 41,000. That's not. And for Trump, it actually went from something like 15,000 to 30. It was like 14,000 to like 34,000. So it was like 1.5 times of an expansion. So maybe this time they're thinking, you're good, excellent, good. Good. We'll be able to send those charts over in another, where is it at? Another 46 minutes. Those charts will come over to you. We'll have Microsoft open and all that other stuff. So from there, that's pretty much the answer to it all, really. That really is. So, from there, we'll jump over to... Where will we jump over to? Let's jump over to the Swiss. See what the Swiss is up to this morning. Unless anybody wants to see something. I can put anything up on the screen for anybody that wants to see it. So, there's the Swiss. The Swiss trying to lift its head up a little bit, too. Just a little bump. Nothing major. Everybody's pretty much in the same direction. They've had a really great rally. A short-term rally. And, look how long they've been in that weekly sell when it comes to the Swiss. Caught another nice groove on the downside. I really don't think there's a big change coming at the moment, in the sense that I think the markets will take some profits and then find a bottom and turn up again. That would make sense to me, especially with Mr. Trump looking like he's going to win this election. That could be a very strong economic era, for the next 4 years. As I take a sip of my coffee. And if he does, that could be literally an era for the next 12 years, because he's only going to do 4 years. That's all he can do. And so then what happens is that we'll see how well he has done, which I expect him to do just as well as he did the first time. So then what'll happen is people will want that with Mr. Trump. And so the vice president will more than likely be president for 12 years, who's pretty young. He's only 40 years old. He'll be retiring at 52. So as much as Joe Biden talked about the idea of a younger generation, the Republicans have done it, and the Democrats have not. They have not been bringing in young people. So, and I would assume that's you got to take them down to take them up. That was an old saying on the New York Stock Exchange. If you really want to buy them, take them down first, because let people sell them to you cheaper. Remember, on the equity side, money always had that attitude of, had that attitude. So, that is really, that is the answer. Really is the answer. And so we go from there. We'll go to what is it? Let's go to the Japanese yen. But that is the answer. You got to take them down. You got to take the stocks down. You want to take they've taken the currencies down. There's the yen. Yen is trying to play with a little daily buy right there. You see it's still in that long weekly sell with no problem. Good 6 weeks and going on a 7th week. It seems like now that they've got the $20 trillion swap adjusted and removed from being a big, large yoke around Tokyo's neck, there should be a lot more positiveness out of there. All right, and then from there you see what else is going on with the yen. You see just that nice little pop there. And I'm trying to open up the old beta as we speak and see what happens there. Let's see. Let's see. So that will be, if I can get that open, then what will happen is we will be able to take a look at our work. If we don't get it open today, we will get it open tomorrow with no problem. I'm punching it in as we speak. Let's see what happens there. Nope, that didn't do it. Did that do it? Microsoft Shell. Nope. All right, so from there, let's take a look at. Unfortunately, I already know what it is. When I opened it up, that's why I went, oh my goodness. Here is the great experiment. This is what happens when an industrialized nation throws away economics. They start to look like the Soviet Union. And you can see what happened. They got it up to 40.15 now. So it's going as high as 40. We're looking for 41.75 to 42.75. So maybe this is the first of, they jammed it up there, and this is the Turkish lira, Euro-Turkish lira pairs trade. And maybe what they'll do is they'll oscillate a little bit. You can see it's playing with the daily sell now from all that big movement. And maybe they'll play around here at the tops, maybe 30, I don't know. I would think the 36s, 37s would become support in here, unfortunately. And then they'll try to turn it up again. But here they have, suckered some poor buyer or seller, more likely a buyer. Well, maybe a seller, I don't know. Somebody got suckered, that's for sure. Look at the height of that. You get those every so often with this thing. It just means someone has capitulated. They need to get out, and they'll pay any price to get out because they're just taking too much pain. And imagine how many how many entities it's not just the population. It's, foreign corporations who have tried to invest in the country, or, they thought they were, oh yeah, there's a bargain there. The currency's at 20 now when it was at $1. Or, let's put it this way, it was at 1, and now it's at 20, and they're thinking, oh yeah, it's gonna, someone, whatever goes up has to come down type of attitude. And then all of a sudden you find yourself at 25, and then now you've seen yourself at 35, and here we've started challenging 40. So unfortunately, this thing looks like the ruble. It has that making and look and style of how the ruble went from 4, 5, then 8 or 9, and 9 to like 14, and then 14 to into the 20s, and then from the 20s we were in the 30s, and then in the 30s it found a way to get up into the 70s, and before you know it, I think the last we saw the ruble was at 99 or 97 or something like that. The ruble's way out there at this point. And unfortunately, the Turkish lira has that same flavor to it. And we would hope that it would stall out in the 40s, the low 40s, and maybe they would change policy. I don't know. What can I say that I haven't said before? That's the whole thing. Is I don't want to beat a dead horse here. So all I can say is, it looks like to me it wants to get up into the 41.75 to 42.75 area. And at the same time, we were saying that at the 36 area. So it's gone 4 handles up now from that area. And there's only these 2 handles left. So, I mean, it's not the biggest, it's kind of coming to the end of this. And then the question is, do they change their policies again? In the right way, not this. Let's put it this way. If you keep on doing policies that have driven your currency from 1 to 40, well, then you think that maybe they'll come up with changing the policy. The Japanese have. They worked their way out of borrowed money, did whatever it took from the Federal Reserve, and have unwound that $20 trillion swap. So maybe Turkey starts to wake up to reality that going from 1 to 40 is not the best thing in the world. And it's interesting, this last year, look at this last year. I think we go back far enough. What's interesting about it is every time they would come up with something, like they were giving away free puts at one point. Let's see if we can find that. There it is right there. So let me just add a few more days to this. That's where they, back in 21, they started giving away free puts if you bought the currency. Somehow or another they blew that up. I don't know what was President Aragon's thrust or idea or whatever, but they blew it up. They stopped doing it because, let's put it this way, if buyers got free puts for buying the currency wouldn't go up. I mean, it wouldn't make sense, for it to lose value the way it has. Obviously, the free puts didn't work. In other words, they didn't honor them. Now, I haven't read anywhere where people say that they did honor them. I did read where there was some problems with exercising them. So they didn't honor them. They made a rule that said, oh, well, if you have to be this, that, or the other thing. So this was, the product got up into the 20s here. The Turkish lira got to the 20s. And then they came out with offering free option puts with the purchase. And that, you can see what it did in just one day. This is a daily chart there. So it drove it down. It fell for 5 or 6 days. And then they put out this stipulation. Drove it down to 12. And this is back in 2021. And they put out a stipulation about who was allowed to have the puts. And the next thing you know, we're back up to 16. And as time goes on, the next thing you know, we're back to where it started from, the 20s. Obviously, the puts never materialized. Because, I mean, if you're long this product and you can exercise, in other words, you're free. In other words, if you buy the Turkish lira at 15, if it goes to 20, the option gives you 5 points. So, in other words, you're not losing any money. So that means you would stay invested. Obviously not. Things changed, and we understood that after about 6-7 days, they put a stipulation in. I'll just go back to it again. They put the stipulation in on the Turkish lira here, that only certain buyers would get the options. And the next thing you know, it went from 12 back to basically 16, hanging underneath for, I guess there's a whole month, there's another month. And I guess there was a lot of hoping and wishing that they would stop that. And then you can see after like 5 months, which I thought was the answer. I thought it was a brilliant answer. And next thing you know, it's back up into the 19 area. And that's all in that same year. So then, there's no talk about the options anymore, about how the government is giving free options out when you buy the currency. So before you know it, by the end of the year, it's back to where it started from. It's at the 20. So all that, for 1 year, they were able to cut out the rampage. But obviously, we have hindsight here now. We know, and that is after 1 year, they ended up back in that same situation, and then going from 21 to 22, then in 23, the thing found its way up into the. You can see here it's now, in 23, it started climbing over and treating it as a wild support. I forget what this was. They did some, again, they tried to stimulate and tried to, promise the options. I forget what it was exactly, but obviously it didn't work. And it got trapped in there. Notice the closes were all there, so that the panics didn't help it any. And before you knew it, we're at 30 by half a year. We're at 30. And we thought, okay, there's no change of policy, and here's an industrialized nation doing their best to destroy their equity. And by the end of that year, it went from 20 to basically 33. And that's pretty painful. And then this last year now, this is the year of 24, it's gone from the 32, 33 area up to 40. Yesterday, or today, actually today, it went to 40. So, they've promised, but they haven't provided. And that's the problem. So we watch this currency. I know this seems insane in many ways, but we watch this currency because it's an industrialized nation, and we're trying to understand, what not to do. In other words, it's a good example. Whatever Turkey is doing, don't do. That's all it comes down to. It's very simple. Whatever Turkey is doing, don't do that. And your economy will can't do worse, that's for sure. It's obviously, how can it be any worse than what we're already watching? A supersonic, a hypersonic inflation that's beyond imagination. It's like I said, it's like the ruble, where we've seen the ruble go from 4 to 100. So, it's a good example. Whatever Russia's doing and what Turkey's doing, don't do. Don't do it. Because it's obviously a bad thing. Alrighty. So from there, what's the next answer there? We go over to, let's see, source terms. I'm trying to get up on that. Oh, I didn't. Okay. All right. So let's try that. You know what? We'll worry about it tomorrow. For Thursday, what we'll do is we'll show you where in the middle of the week of where we'll use the other beta. We'll have it all set. I was unfortunately wasn't able to get that set up today because I just literally was not around. I had other things to do. So tomorrow, I promised today, but we'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll have a beta, and you'll be able to see where, where the weeklies are in like the Shanghai. We'll be able to show you the weeklies in Brent oil. We'll be able to show you the weeklies and dailies and all those things. So, all right. From there, we'll go over to the South African Rand. Right there. And it is, you can see it's kind of, it's got a nice slope down. You can see that. There's a good slope down. That's very positive there. The little pop didn't seem to survive, which is nice. That's, it's a good thing. Obviously, when this thing's going down in the metals complex, it does better. Gold and silver, everything does better. We've seen from this slide down, let's put silver up on the screen here. Silver has found a way to, let's close that. Yes. We can see here silver right there. Oop, no, right there. No. Let's kill that. And let's get the silver on that screen there now. There it is right there. Silver. And as you can see, silver is being sold off. It got up into the 30s. Now remember, we're looking at December now. So it's had a real hard time with the 30. Keeps on stalling out at the 30 area. And the September contract, which is getting ready to expire, is like 29 and change. It's like about a 35-cent difference. And you can see here they're pressing into the sell here today. The weekly looks fine. The fast is slow. It's not exactly breaking down yet on a weekly basis. So this might be just some profit taking. I mean, it did come from 26. So, I mean, when you get silver from 26 to 30, someone's got to take some profits. Now, gold, here's the gold right there. And gold is acting relatively the same way. You can see there, gold is backing off today. But the weekly and the daily, the daily is obviously through that sell number at the moment. And, the product has gone from 2,400 to 2,550 in 3 weeks, or 4 weeks, in 4 weeks. Okay? So someone's got to take a profit sooner or later. That's really what it comes down to. And so that's the way I look at it. I don't look at it any other way but that. So... And the South African Rand, we'll keep an eye on that. Let's go back to the South African Rand. The South African Rand, it's hesitating down in here. It's playing with the 17 area. I think that's been a real support ever since the political turmoil started in a year and a half ago now. So the new president's in there. You can see it there. It's 1750. It's not even 17 even. So it's been that 17, there's the 1750 area back in, can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. Back in August of last year. Okay? So over year, it's been trying to work its way back down. They changed presidents. They're in a coalition government now. The ANC, the Zulu, the ANC political party, the Zulu political party, and the conservative Afrikaner political party are in a coalition now. So there's hope for removing some of this this premium. There's a premium in the South African Rand. I think the Rand should be trading in the 12s. Where gold is trading now. Relating to 12 historically. That's what I'm saying. It's not a fundamental, because the economy is in really bad shape down there. But, the currency usually follows the gold or leads the gold, or it's part of the gold. It's the largest gold producer in the world. So, I kind of look at that and I think, okay, the South African Rand should be trading in the 12s and it's trading in the 17s. So, there's a 33% haircut going on. In other words, they want to see not verbiage, like they don't want to hear the ANC and the AD and the Zulus say something. They want to see them do it. They want to see policy change. And that's really the answer to it all. That's what they're hungry for. That's really what they're hungry for. And so that's why, like the last time we saw it challenge that 17 area, let's go back a little bit further. That's where the political problems started. Right there. Politics, $500,000 of cash was found in the former president's office. And so that turned it into the turmoil, and that's why we're where we are now. And we've been watching that ever since that. All right. So from the South African Rand, from there we'll go take a peek at. We've seen what gold looks like there. Gold is, just feeling a little pain here today. We see also copper's done that same thing. It's rolled over. It's rolling over. All the metals seem to be rolling over. Sometimes when you see them all fall like that, it's more of a cash thing. You can see platinum the same way. It's like there's like someone's liquidating because they need some cash. They need some money, and something major. But when you see all four metals roll over like that, and you can see here the platinum is having a hard time getting into the weekly buy. You can see here the copper. Where's the copper on? There's the copper. The copper got into the weekly buy last week, just like the way silver did. And so silver's in there for the last week or so, and you can see the fast has been up there now. This is the third week. So, they've moved into it. And we saw gold make the challenge to the weekly sell back here and has recoiled. And, that's been in the weekly buy now for, what is that? Let's move that back over. Something like that. So that's like 3, 6. This is the 9th week. And on the spreadsheet, let's look at the spreadsheet. Yeah, so this is the 8th. Came in 8 weeks in a buy. Silver came in 1 week in a buy. Copper. Oh, that's right. Copper needs to be. I fixed the daily on there to 10. But let me go back to copper. Is copper going into the weekly buy or it was in the weekly buy? Okay, yeah. So copper is 1 week in a weekly buy now. And platinum is still in that weekly sell. So there's not a lot of damage going on. From the South African rand, it looks to me like the pressure is going to still stay that way, and there's a lot of concern about elections and all the other things that are going on. I understand Iran is being a little bit friendlier. I don't know. I guess they figured it out. They can't do anything, so they want to negotiate with the next 3 months with Kamala or something like that. I don't know. Something like that. Let me see what's going on here, see if there's any news on that. But I heard that they want to talk to Biden. They want to talk to Biden. Maybe they can buy something from him. I think it's dead at this point. But, it's it's no reason not to talk, but I don't think they're going to get anything done. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's far out. Yeah, okay. So I see. Yeah, see they're really desperate. They're just really, really desperate. And so it's odd. The whole thing's odd. The world is weird. And no wonder when we look at things like the Turkish lira and we see gold and you see the bonds and you see all these things, you see Jackson Hole. We've got a lot of strange things going on for the last 4 years here in the country. It's been very, very strange. I think they're trying to indict Trump again. More lawfare. It's like, when are they going to stop this stuff? When are they going to grow up? How about worrying about the economy instead of destroying the economy? I mean, that's really the main thing right there. Indeed, indeed. Alrighty. From that, we go over to the crude oil. And then, let's see, crude oil right there. There's crude oil. Look at that. They're putting some pressure. It was much lower today. It's recoiled back up a little bit there. At one point, it was pushing into the sell. And you can see that's interesting is that the weekly is starting to break down. So the weekly is breaking underneath the zero line. The manifold's getting tight. If the Middle East would calm down, we would see cheaper oil because we know that Mr. Trump is going to drive oil down in price enormously, just enormously. We're going to be a swing producer, and that'll, lower that stops the inflation. Remember, Turkey, what is the issue here about Turkey more than anything else? Inflation. What's the issue here in the United States? Inflation. What's the issue with most of the countries right now? Inflation. The idea is to stop accelerating that inflation, try to de-accelerate it. And all it's doing is it's going up slower. That's good. But, under Mr. Trump, he had it down to 1.4. And the best Mr. Biden has done is got it down into the threes. Some want to claim it's down to 2.9 or 2.8, but I don't. That's a lot of wishful thinking, I think. That's just the Bureau of Labor Statistic. That's what it comes down to. We're dealing with the Bureau of Labor Statistic. They just, they were reminding us again today because they're looking at numbers, and they said, Bureau of Labor Statistics just took 818,000 jobs out of the number. So they've scaled it down dramatically. So that's the problem. That's a big problem. Is the Bureau of Labor Statistic any better for inflation? I say no, because you go to the store, it costs more money compared to what they claim. They're saying inflation's at 2.5, 3, something like that, and here we're finding products that are 25 and 30% higher, 40% higher, 50% higher. So, who's right? You trying to buy the product, or the Bureau of Labor Statistic? I'd say you trying to buy the product. Gas has tripled in price. Everything else, food and just everything, rents and mortgages have tripled in price. It's just bad, And we need more responsible government, like a Trump type of government, where they run good economic policies. All we want is economic policies, good economic policies. I don't care what he says about anything. All I want to do is as we say in the United States, it's a show me state. It's Missouri. I'm from Missouri. We want to see it, not hear it. And that's what I think they're waiting for down in South Africa. They're waiting to see what this new coalition government does. That's why it's down to 17.5, but it's not breaking that area yet. I mean, until we break down below where the former president had $500,000 of illegal money in his office, and they're not going. It's going to tell us that there's still problems down there. All right, heating oil. Now this is a product that's used across the planet for everything. Airplanes. This is the fuel for airplanes. This is the fuel for diesel engines, the big trucks delivering products, diesel cars, diesel trucks, and it is also used for heating. And it's trying to. You can see here when I tighten it up, you can see it's had a downward momentum. And you can see when we scrunch it up, go out over a year, we're in lows now. We're in some good lows. So that tells us that things are getting better. There's no doubt about it. But during the Trump years, let's see if we can show it to you. What's that? That's 24. Oh, yeah. During the Trump years, it was like $1 and change. See, that's the problem. You can pretend all you want that things are getting better, but if you can't buy them, then it doesn't matter how much you want to tell us it's doing better. That's what the problem is. The Bureau of Labor Statistics has lost its mojo. That's basically what it comes down to. Because it's run by the politicians now. And they're doing all kinds of fancy little games, That's what it really comes down to. All right. Let's see. Where do we go from there? I want to go further back. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to throw it up on this screen. Like that. And then I'm going to go get rid of that. And I'm going to, I know it. Minimize that. Right, and do it like this. Okay, here we go. And this will show you, I think this will show you way back. Yeah, here we go. Here's the heating oil. And it'll explain to you, too, in many ways. It will definitely explain it to you. Just in a picture. And right there. There it was. Was it $1? The high of one of the last days of Mr. Trump, I guess. Is that what it is? Yeah, the last days of Mr. Trump. The product was trading at a high of $1.13. Matter of fact, there's even one that was $1.03. Can you see? Oh, you can't see that. Here you go. Check this out. There it is, right there. It was at $1. It was at a low. You can see the box there. It was at a low of cents. It was at 83. No, the low that day was 77 cents, almost 78 cents, 77.69. Yeah. So you can see in let's see what bot can I use this? This will freak it out, won't it? Yeah, here we go. Will that do it? No. So if I go like, oh yeah, so right there, that was at 77 cents. And you can see in the red box there right now, it's at $2.25. Does that look like a 3% gain? No. 3% gain would have been 70. It would be basically 80 cents. If inflation really was moving at 2.5 or 3, then that would be at 80 cents, not $2.25. And so that's why we people are buying gold and things like that because they're starting to lose confidence in what Janos made videos on years ago, and that is the fundamentals have been distorted. That's the problem. And we saw crude oil go to zero one day at the exchange. It went to minus $37. Let's see if we can put that up on here. Right there. There it is right there. During the Trump years. It's showing it at minus $39. Yeah. That was before the election of 2020. I mean, if let's put it this way. People are losing confidence in government. Here, there, and everywhere. Now this poor guy in the Telegram. See, we don't see Telegram much. We don't use Telegram here in the States much. But I understand that it's got over 1 billion subscribers, and it's big in Europe, and it's big in Asia, and it's big in Australia and so forth. Telegram, and they locked up the managing partner or owner or something like that. Blaming him for free speech. In other words, they're saying free speech is bad. So it's getting weirder and weirder out there, people. So that's why you see gold at all-time highs. I believe, and I said this yesterday, silver and copper and platinum are probably being sold when they buy gold. In other words, they're trying to hedge themselves. I mean, gold is at all-time highs, so they need to hedge themselves. All right, and then from there we'll go over to natural gas. We'll show you that on our other platform. And you can see it on the spreadsheet. 10 weeks in a weekly sell came down from $3 to now it's sitting around $2. So, that's an anticipation of Mr. Trump as far as I can tell. Because, we're going to be flooded with natural gas. Yeah, I mean, that's what that is. It's that's really the answer to it all in the end. Is that, I mentioned it yesterday. When you look at petroleum products, they're in some crazy number. 254 products that we use every day. 254 products that we use every day. I mean, I don't use 254 products in a day, but I might use 10 of those products. And that's all, probably 9 out of 10 of them is probably it has petrol in it. So when you put a war on petrol, you are pro-inflation. In other words, you're like Turkey or Russia. You support inflation. You want inflation, which is insane to me. All right. From there, let's see. Where do we go from there? I guess that's it. We've done the energies. And let's take a look at Brent on this screen here. Brent marches with crude. Tomorrow we will have it up on the machine. I had a problem with my automobile, and so I was out the door. I didn't get back here until about 20 minutes, 20 minutes before the broadcast. I went to get a tire on it, and they said there's something wrong with the strut. So I dropped that off, and so the next thing I know is I didn't have any time to put up the old beta. And I'm trying to do it as I speak with you, and I don't remember at all. I have to play programmer and peck and paw at it. All right. Let's see. From there, let's see, where do we go from there? There's the Brent. You can see it's down a half. This is an intraday. You can see it came off of a low today of 77.26. We're at 78.09 at the moment. It's bouncing back up. And but I'd imagine tomorrow we'll probably see this thing challenging its weekly sell. You know, if crude oil is doing it on our screen, then more than likely Brent is doing the same thing. All right, and then from there we can take a look at we got a few minutes here. Let's take a look at Tokyo. See what Tokyo's up to, that type of thing. There's the Nikkei. We see the currency looking fine. Yeah, you see a lot of, it's firm there. Just like, we can show you the S&P 500 right there. There's the futures contract trading live right now. It's up. Is it up or down? It's down 5 points. That's all. Not bad. You can see. Oh, you can't see that. Yeah, you can see that. And then I go over here. You can see the Nikkei. It's holding up last night. And we come back over to here. Let's put the Tech 100 or the Nasdaq 100 in there. Also, we don't really have a. I guess we could name the title today. Gold is, in my head, from the bad government going on. Gold is very firm because of it, because of the global inflation. And gold is very firm. I mean, today it's down pretty decent. What's that down? $40, something like that. But there's the Nasdaq's been in the daily sell now since back here, and it really hasn't been able to get out of its own way. This is why probably they're selling Apple and Bank of America. In other words, they're concerned that what carried this market up could carry it down. When you contract this thing, you see the enormous move in this product. That's just like 4 months. When you go back even further, look at that. You're looking at the beginning of the. There it is, right there. There's the beginning of the year, right there. And the Nasdaq was down in a little under 17,000. The thing is traded as high as almost 21,000. So 3,000 move, and now all of a sudden they're backing it off, and the thing almost was starting to chase after lose its gain for the whole year. And then when we look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, right there, we're getting that same. I guess we get that same thing going on. You see it played down. Let's see where it was at the beginning of the year. It was in the beginning of the year. It was in the 38,000 area. 38.5, something like that, and it traded all the way up to 41. 3,000 point move. 2,000 point? Yeah, 3,000 point move. Not bad. But they almost drove it back to unchanged on that sell-off when they did the unwind of the $20 trillion swap trade out of Tokyo 3 or 4 weeks ago. So that's only 4 weeks ago. We were almost unchanged for the year. So the reason why we see gold, at all-time highs, is because there's a lot of concern out there. There is a lot of concern. So I think that's going to be the title today. Gold highs. Gold highs. Or, I would say gold strength. Strength. There you go. Gold strength from bad, from, let's see, can we say bad? Let's see, from gold strength, weak central banks. How about that? That's a good way of looking at it. Central banks. And that's the title today. And we'll take apart tomorrow with the beta, the old beta, that shows all the weeklies on these things. All right, traders, we're out of here. This is Doc from North America. We will catch you all tomorrow, same time, same channel. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, later, traders. Have a safe and smart trading day. And if anybody hasn't received their charts, as soon as the markets open up here in 4 minutes, we'll start to get your charts out. Ta-ta for now.